like so, this mascara line. Like that. This area in here, I'm going to kind of blend. This is a 3, so I'm going to kind of blend that in there a little bit. And like I said, there's stuff going on in the blue part of an eye. And I can take this tortilla in here and separate out the inner part of that to a translucency. Then the black part, once again I'm back with my 6B, getting a value to go dark here. And we get that look right there. I can put in some dark stuff. It's just stuff, you know. I don't know what it is. It's just stuff that's in an eye like that, and it looks, oh, it looks kind of like that. You know, that's pretty much then how your eye will look. Like I said, I had just drawn these eyelashes here. Lashes, little tricks with lashes. Lashes are diaphanously, you know, of course, some women, they look clumped. But particularly around the tips of them, knock them back a little bit. Same at the bottom here. And boom, you have eyelashes. I mean, that's just pretty much all there is to that. Alright, even though I'm using a 6, I'm going to go back to a 2, to an HB here, because an HB does give a nice hard line, not so much a dark one. And I'm going to put in here a little more. Alright, this hair here and this hair here, there's a shadow. I want that shadow. It's probably the shadow of the hair on top of her eye there. And again, this is just going to be scratch marks for now. I'm not doing hair right now. But I am implying where hair is. Go up here and get these eyebrows. And on the edges of eyebrows, particularly on a supermodel type thing like this, you go up here, right along the edges, where she's plucked. And then right in the middle, make it darker. I just know this. Don't ask me how, I just do. Boom, there you go. Now, her eyebrow thins out a little bit as it comes over to here. Or it doesn't thin out, it fades out a little bit. So that gives us the eye that we're looking for there. Got our lash line shadow going under here. It's not this pronounced in the drawing, but we do know there is a lash line shadow, and there's actually a reflected little brightness here. Ah. And that brings her well to life, as you can probably see there. Like I say, get used to drawing upside down, because a lot of the time that's where you're going to be drawing is upside down. Here is the eye right side up. Notice we're beginning to get a likeness. It's beginning to look a little bit like her, but it's not going to look exactly like her in black and white until we reach a certain point. Top part of the nose here, we know under here is going to be black. We know that going in. There's a really dark area in here where I left a shadow for it. So I'll go ahead and then with the 3, I'll go back and finish out the underside there. And then sort of make it defined like that. There's a ridge. We don't want to go any higher than that nostril there, but there's a ridge of darkness that's implied. You can almost not see that at all. But there'll be a ridge of pretty much a similar darkness there. It will give us the clue of that kind of a nostril. And then, I know that this is the shadow side here, so I'm going to go ahead and just imply, because it's going to help me to visualize it a lot easier. Just like that. Now, of course, at this point, it's easier for me to go ahead and get this out. Then I can go ahead and just imply the line back where I took it off the nose just now to get rid of the grid, and up here to the eye. Getting rid of this. There's a shadow comes out to there. Probably not that dark. I might have to bap it back. There's one up here on the nose. Notice the shadow under her nose to the left. How it falls down on her face and upper lip. And this whole shadow assembly sweeps down over top of there's a light that just picks up a shadow all the way across here. Now, I don't really know anything about that, how dark or light to make that. It's something I'm just going to go ahead and do this. In joins here. It's just the way noses are. This is a shadowed side under here. In fact, this is a very heavy shadow. It's going to go in there. We'll pull it up here so you can see that. It's going to be a very heavy shadow here. And then there's going to be like a lighter shadow on the side of it. And that we're going to do, since it's such a light, and make varying degrees of lightness through there. But this has to be really dark compared to most anything else. So there's a hump around here. Little piece that comes under there. Once again, I'm not going to go too dark with any of that. I'm going to come down here. We'll fuzz the white on top of that. And why that is, I don't know. But it is. So the nose will now be defined by what's behind it. Probably by the way the light's hitting it. Now this shadow on her cheek is not this dark. I'm merely going to do that for your benefit, and then we'll back it off after we lay it. I'm not really doing anything I can't get out of. Okay, I'm not really doing that. Let's zoom in again. This part here is dark right to about there. However, as it comes up here, the darkness that's here on the nose goes behind it. See how that works? Now that's weird, but that's what's happening. And that's what's happening right there. Now back off the zoom, it begins to make a little sense. The shadow is going to go clear up here, climb on up the nose, and then on the nose itself there's a little bit of that same darkness just right here. And the whole underside of the nose here, literally I could do this. If I wanted to, quite literally, without being any problem at all. In fact, I could take a 3H and do it as much as I wanted to. Where's that 3H at? Check this out. I can literally go under her nose like that. It's like that. And I'll get it. Now I can go back over here into the dark again. Darken up these nostrils. Now I'm going to catch a highlight over top of her nostril. And I'm going to get one right here. See how that works. And I'm going to take the tortilla, lose the fact that I did that on the upper end. Keeping the value there. Okay. I can go back in over here now. This is really going to be dark now. And this whole side of the nose, right up this ridge here, is dark. Where's that 3H again? See you on the dark side of the nose. See that? Hair's going to come right down over her face just like that. According to our drawing here, huh? Now that begins at becoming a real nose. Once more, you've got this line here of darkness, and all this will make sense once you start putting everything in. Okay, this comes down under here, all the way down, even with this, and under it actually. Right. Alright. Bring it in tight. You can see that. See what I'm doing now is I'm coming through here and around. And now there's and actually it's a white area. In this area. Where her nose picks up a lot of light for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm going to show it. Because it's going to look better if I do. I'm going to smooth it in like that. And if it's, you know, too dark in the wrong places, well, I'll just move the thing. Now under here, the nose comes down like this, and actually there's shadow. Well, this is black. This is really black through here. And then there's a shadow, probably the tortillan. Would be the way to imply that. Now we've got actually the total nostril thing going on. And over here, yeah. I don't know why any of this stuff's on here. I never did learn why any of that was on there. I just know that it is on here. And it works if you put it on. And it doesn't work if you don't. Okay. Yeah, it's way too dark. Yeah, it's not been pressed in. Yeah, I haven't blended it with the tissue. I haven't done anything. But when I go back, lighten the whole value, I'm probably going to get away with the nose. Alrighty, let's see. Now this nose has a really white bridge that I don't want to forget about. Okay, I don't really want to forget about that nice, beautiful white bridge she's got there. And all this is going to basically be a kind of a 3/8 skin tone. And I can actually connect facial qualities now. So I can come over here and connect these facial qualities. It's very, very light. You can hardly see it on camera. But it helps me visualize the makeup I'm going to have to put on her. Okay? And that's the beauty of the skin, of the smear tissue technique. And here, you'll notice, I can back that off. Yeah. And now we'll see what we're looking at. As I said before, darkness comes right down to where that's the underside. Comes up here a little bit, makes almost a Y shape. And darkness here. Some right up on the flare of that nostril. Then there's a line of shadow that comes here. I'm going to go ahead and apply it like that. And one that comes off the side. Those lines are formed by the shadow of the nose on the face. Okay? Of course, I will get rid of those lines in a moment. But now you see Now you see where these lines, I'll darken my darks here again. Now you'll see that line right there and this one down here. And we'll keep those lines there just for a second until I get through smearing in the shadow side of the nose. Alright? Keep those lines right there for just a second. Because when I get to the end of them, I'm going to come down here with this, after I get everything shaded right up to them, like that. I'm going to make it a little bit darker so you can see it on camera. Then I'm going to come through here with this BAP and lose the edge of where that line really was. And then I'm going to smear it flat to where it disappears entirely. Did you catch that? You should have. Because now you see I've got this line comes under here. We've done this once, haven't we? Remember that? This line that comes down to here. And all up under here is dark. Remember that? Time to put another lap over it. Because it's her nose. We're creating light at this point. We're not creating a nostril or a nose, we're creating a light. I'll back off now just a little bit so you can see what we're doing here. That's the shadow under her nose. Now watch this. That is the line we used, but I don't need lines. So, I'll erase right into it and apply it back with a dirty tortilla. Now I get a shadow, I'll do this. Goes right into a shadow. Boom, just like that. Okay. And dark again. I have to put this back in because I smeared it. Anytime you smear, you're going to have to put it back in. Now there's a light piece from her septum that even the shadow is going to pick up. Alright. Now we're supposed to be doing darkest darks and lightest lights first. So I can get down here on this lip. Because that lip's going to be a whole lot darker in the finished piece than we've got it now. So I just go ahead and do this. I don't know anything about the lips right now, except I want to get rid of that grid. It's over top of it. I'll pull in tight on the lips so you can see. No, her lips aren't that dark. We know this. Alright? We understand this. Heard you. Okay? But for the moment they are going to be this dark. So I get rid of these ridiculous lines here from our grid that we had to deal with. Alright? Okay. Dark down here. And under her lip, I see this upside down very well. She has a pretty little bow mouth. We can go ahead and imply that the whole thing's definitely going to be darker than her whole face. So go ahead and just smear in all these lines. Then you'll go back with your eraser and pick up shine off of her bottom lip in the appropriate places. In fact, you'll probably go in with this. Make sure it all cleans out. And she's got one right on top there. Alright.
And the farther we go with our likeness, the more like the original photograph it appears to be.
So now we're beginning to see the outline of this girl. The back side of her nose comes to here. This rolls out, comes out about to the edge of this hair here. Actually, it comes, if I look at it right, halfway down the lip mark. I'm going to take part of this off back here. Because I've got, her nose is cuter than that, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up like that on the back side. Again, it's a little triangle darkness in here. And that's pretty solid. I'm not going to erase this back out again. But I'm going to impress it like that. Then I'm going to come across here, and I know that there's a sub level of darkness right across here. And there's one up here too. It's not the same, but it is the same value of darkness. I'm going to go ahead and smear that in. Keeping the two sides separated if I can. Alright, let's see. This little wing thing comes up just about to here. Like so. And then it actually comes around here. And the tip of that at the top. The actual roundness is here. It's not up here. Alright. Now, push that back a little bit, and then I've changed the head here on my buzzer. I'm going to go back in here and lift out some light. Now there's a light, there's a super highlight here. It's going to go right across the top of that nose barrel as we talked about before. I want you to be able to see this. So I'm going to try to move it to where you can. Yeah. Now we're coming. I got a little over into that. I've got a secondary darkness there. And it's really, I could probably lift up into that a little bit. And do that. Probably the best thing I could do there. Then, this first part of the triangle here, speaking of the light, let me go ahead and hit it with a 3H. Back out again. Okay. Like I said, I'm just following patterns. Not really looking for realism, but I know realism will follow, as does night to day, if I simply stick with it. Alright, let's see. This is a 3H again, a very light pencil used on Mylar generally. It smooths in almost imperceptibly, and that's what I want to do until I'm certain of what's going on here. I'm going to do that. Let it come out the bottom. See, I raised that nose about a ½ inch from last time I was on it. And I did that for a reason. Let's get rid of this shade here. Yeah. I did that for a reason. Let's put it here, right. Alright. Now we're coming here. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and come out of here. Like that. Here's that line we drew in a race last night. I'm going to apply that shadow in right along there again. I'm just piecing together shades. That's really all I'm doing at this point. It may be, my drawing will look better. Let's put it that way. My drawing will look better than the photograph because the photograph takes out way too many of the shadows, and once I figure out where they are, well, my drawing will look better than the picture. See, I know there's a little bit across there. Yeah, I know that there's a little bit across there. See how it picks up light now? See, that's nice picking up the light. That's what we want it to do. Okay, I know down here where it's coming in, let's see, let's pull back and get a wide shot of that. Now I'm going to work on this cheek a second. I'm just going to do this lightly. I'll probably have to alter this later. But I know from looking at the photograph from the dark black and white I did on the computer of this same image that this down here is really dark. I know that. It's going to probably be darker on mine, like I say, because it adds it makes it easy on the eyes. I'm getting crap under here. Always clean out from under your drawing. Feel little pebblies under there. Do get them out. Yes, do that. Alright. And again, this shading is nice here, but it is also kind of a shade there. And we're going to be dark, not with a line so much here, but with kind of a value through here. I think it comes on down kind of like that. If I've seen that properly now, I think it does sort of like that. And of course down here at the bottom we'll map it back a little bit. Alright, there's a sub-shadow, which is definitely a 3H job pencil, and it's going to come from this point right up to there. So that's a third value. We got this value here, which is darker than any of it. Then we got this third value that's going to come right up to the bridge of the nose. Just like another facet there. We'll keep this separated if we can. And then see this area here that was off the nose? Well, now it's back on the nose here. Darndest thing I ever saw. It jumps on and off the nose. Yes. You can't see that too well on the camera. Let me do it from this side here. Yeah. Ah. Probably not so dark. Haven't done anything really deathly damaging there, I don't think. Now we'll back it all off and we'll do a realism check. And just for the moment, I can change all those values later. The shade comes down to there, which means it's not over here. Yeah. Okay. In order to avoid white paper syndrome, she has to have a uniform facial tone all over. Probably about that dark. Keeping in mind, of course, when you do that, that the value that you put over here, showing right off the cheekbone, which, by the way, according to this, pull this back a little bit, maybe you can see it better. According to her piece here, that going on right up to about a line there. Everything on the outside of that, of course, comes in from this shadow, because there's a shadow right here. It comes up, it comes out right here. So our little piece here will erase this line. We're going to erase this hard line here. down through there. That means everything on the outside of this is dark. And in that little recessed area, it pretty much is. Now that shows me a couple things here. I'm going to back off so you can see me getting rid of the grid lines here, particularly up and down the edge. Most of that will be matted over a ½ inch anyway. You don't have to really worry about that too much, but I like to get as cleaned up as I can. Now don't tear your paper doing this. If it catches wrong, you'll be crying, because it will tear paper. I've done enough of these, famous last words, but I've done enough of these to get a feel for it. Alright, her eye doesn't bulge quite that much, so bring this back in a little bit here, I think. I think that's the proper distance. If that's the case, then it just needs to be brought in here. I'll smooth that in a little bit. I can a little tight on that. A little tight on it. So I'm going to bring this line in a little bit. I don't think her cheek is quite that swelled. Bring that in a little bit there. We'll back it off so you can see it very well. Yeah. Alright, I know everything on the outside of there in the way of hair and everything else probably is not going to be terribly dark, but I also know it's going to be lighter. This skin is going to be lighter than everything out here. So to make life easier on me, for the moment, I can go back and dig highlights out of this later, because it's just blonde hair and it's not going to get it so light. There's no lightest lights in here, in other words, for me to sweat or worry with. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make life a lot easier on me. I know hair comes out at least that far. And now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I feel it now. I'm getting to feel it. You get to where you start to feel it. Somebody's got to feel this. That's right. Da-dum-bum-ba-ba. Pull out some lightness here, and I'm going to bat back a number of things here, and yeah, I know this is not a line here either, so I'm going to smooth that down with that reflected light line still catching on the side of her face. Give me something a little heavier here. The H tends to leave pencil lines I can't do anything with. I'm going to put a 3B here just a second. Just enough so I can get a good contrast. I may leave the contrast. No, it may not be in the photograph, but contrast is the only thing I got going for me. The photograph has color going for it, and I don't have color going for me. See, now if I want to, I can come in here later. You see, I can pull out all the blonde hairs I want, just like that. It'll be just fine. Don't sweat me on stuff like that, alright? It's not really a good idea to sweat me on stuff like that, because I don't need it. Alright, let's go down this side of this jaw here while we're over in this area. Kind of got me interested in it. Alright, coming off of here, it's a firmer line than that actually. Then you can see here her little angular jaw. It's going to dip in right there just a bit. And then she comes down here. She's got a really nice little sharp chin Comes in kind of like that. Yeah. It doesn't matter if I get this or this, the exact same brightness or darkness as over there. It just matters that if the degree of lightness and darkness here is in ratio. So in other words, you know, just to see what I'm doing, just to get a feel for her outline. And I don't have to erase this grid part here. I can just go over it like that here on the outside. Yeah. So I'll do that right there for now. I mean, I can go darker or lighter, and it'll probably be prettier than the photograph. Now watch the cool part here. I've implied this, but check this out. She has to have white face over that dark. Are we on this? I will lose the very outline of her jaw altogether to a highlight. Ah. Secret to realism. See that? I'll use the very outline of her jaw. And like I said before, don't go sweat me. Don't go getting all upset. But man, I can pull out blonde hairs all day long. I can make that darkness work for me. I don't care. I can make it work. If I'm a little off on my shape, well, I can come back over here and pull that shape back in if I need to. Okay? I can pull that back in if I have to. Am I off there with the erasure? Can I pick up what I need? Oh, you betcha. Ow! Got that Celtic thing going on there, huh? Alrighty, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just give this dark side of the face here Okay, now, looks kind of real. Alright, I'm going to leave the under the nose thing kind of pronounced for the moment because it's right. Okay, very well. Now this comes off of the lip here, over, and just takes in the whole side here. Like so. Looks kind of like her. Alright. Go up in here now. And just sort of lay some lip track to separate it from the darkness of the face. Okay, looking kind of rough, but I'll do it this way. I do need to see it upside down as well. All I'm really doing there is applying some lip shadows. That's really all I'm doing there. Alright. Shadow on the chin, of course, comes on up to here. We knew that from before. Now this is an interesting thing. This is a shadow. Comes up kind of like that. Not real sure what that's celebrating. Okay, now there's a, right on the lip, for some reason, there's a white line right here. See if we can get that. Not sure what that represents or what that's for. We'll go ahead and get that. Let's take a look at that right side up and see what we got. Alright, so now we see she's beginning to look like what we want. What we want her to look like. It's just everything needs to be recessed. Well, I want to get everything down first in a perfect pattern before I start going back and recessing a bunch of things. And I want to make sure we got everything like we want it and like we need it first. And once that happens, I can do what most people would call just a regular sketch of this thing. Now I can just sketch. And you know, a lot of people would leave it rough like that, but of course I smooth all mine in. I'm very big about smoothing in my pencil lines. I don't like to leave them on the surface. You know, even my teacher used to like to leave stuff laying on the surface. So now we're getting our makeup put on. I'm gonna go back and work some of that up, you see. And I got this down here. And work it up. And I'm going to tortilla this in. Very, very defined. Like so. And that's going to begin to give us the hints at realism. To where I'm going to go ahead and lift a little out of the center of that area because it's a reflected shadow. It's not a hot shadow or a dark shadow. It's kind of a reflected shadow there. A lot of white with the map. Smoothing down certain points as we go. Okay. And I'll put dark in there. Yeah. Now, keeping in mind that see that? Here, 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 here. Okay. All right. Now, we're coming. I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of a subshadow here. I'm going to put in just enough of that 3H to make the whole face work. Yeah, there we go. Because all it is, it's a wiping of these shadows. Kid has a very healthy set of lips. Yes. Begin to see that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, observe please. We're going to move over here to a 6B. And just in the very darkest darks, see what that does. Brings the whole face out. Yeah, we can get by with a lot of these darkest darks and a lot of the stuff on the face if we've got stuff like that going on. Now this part of the face has to be free from a lot of blackness. See that? See what you can get by with? Voila. Then I'm going to take my 6B where I went. I'm going to take a 3B, if I got one. And mingle that 6 in deep. Like that. There we go. Now she's looking pretty good for that angle. Let's see. Put this up to here. This is a 3B, okay. Okay. Let's see. Give me that 6 a second. Yeah, give me the 6 right here. Put some stuff in there. You saw on the other one how that works fairly well. Now this shadow here of the hair comes down right like that as well. We know that because we can see it in the photograph. And my 6B here again. Put a point on it saying make stuff that looks kind of like that. She didn't have quite that much mascara on this eye, which kind of bothers me, but I think I'm going to go ahead and give it to her as though she did. And the reason for that, very simply, is because it looks better. It's easier for me to do it. Yes. Alright. Now then, up here. Okay. All right. I guess we could probably lighten up the top of that a little bit now. Now she's got a hair. Comes all the way up into that eye. Alright. I don't know if I want to leave that like that or not. That's the way it is in the picture. Oh, what the heck. I've got to finish up this mascara job. It's usually, if you want to put eyelashes in, bring 2 or 3 of them out from the side and have them come out to a common point. That generally is going to be your best hope for an eyelash. And then here, if you want to make her lashes thicker, just sort of imply it back at the base there. Don't make it come out long like that, but sort of imply it back at the base. And then don't forget to come out here on the tips of them and just de-importantize them. And then if you want to take a really, really sharp 3H, and have the individual hairs come out like that, that would be fine there. And like I say, if you get too much, you can always go back and knock it down a little bit if you have to. But alright, this comes out to here. Like that. Ooh, okay. I guess that would work. We'll catch a little black in there. A little black over in that corner. That'd look nice. Not all the way around. You don't want to Ozzy Osbourne her. That wouldn't work. Let me kick that back just a little since I'm going to be going up here in the eyebrow now. Okay. Now then, over on the side here I see, and it's probably HB's worth of darkness here, it'll be coming off right up to here with some shading. It's the same stuff that comes off down to here. And, of course, I always find myself on the wrong side of these things. This, of course, will then be radically darker because everything else is getting dark too, but it's not going to get as dark as this is. So I'm going to go ahead and show this to be very dark through there. Yeah. Now, and I can mingle in that 6 area, of course, with a little of this HB or 3B, and that'll lock down all that fuzziness. Close down to here. Now this is actually showing up of all things. Is a slight outward bulge of light, if you can believe it. So, I'll get up in there. Kind of get the idea there. I may have to show that closer to show what happened there. Yeah. Alright, that's the side you can see it. Pull this little guy down a little more before I tear my paper. Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go. Oh yeah. Now let's see what we got here. I'm going to take this 3H and file a little more shadow in there. Sort of balance it up with the other eye. Put it in like that. Alright, yeah, Now, okay. That's not in the original, but the eyes have to kind of match up a little bit with the light sources. I'm going to kind of go with that, I think. I think so. Yes, I do. I do really think so. Alright, I'm going to pull that into there. That's about the way it is in the photograph. Yeah, she's got that going on. That looks about right. Now I'm going to have to put a little more on top here. Just on the top part of her eye. Yeah. There's a place right across here. Putting this line right here. Because it kind of goes there and then it kind of disappears. Now, take a look at that. I believe that's going to get it. You might could go a little skosh darker. Okay, fine, whatever. Where's my 6 at? Give me that 6 again. And then I'll back the tips off there just a skosh again. Keep her from looking so slutty. You know, with all that mascara stuff on her face. Alright. Now then, We'll lock in down there on her nose. See what we got. Take my lightest pencil at 3H. That's not it. Now over here it shows that lighter. Right. Okay. 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 I'm going to take this tortilla in here. Smooth that in. Okay. Then I'm going to cut back up into here. Oh yeah. Now then. All right. Okay, now this little comes here. Comes and joins the little point of dark coming off of here over to this one side. Jumps on. For some reason terminates right there. Alright. Alright, let's take a look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's coming on nicely. I do declare it's coming on nicely. I want to raise this little mark right here. Yeah, there we go. Now we can. Oh, now we're talking. Alright. Very well. Let's hit that mouth one time, and I'm going to, keeping in mind now over here on this side, as we have darkened, we've lost some of our value we thought we had over here, which means we gotta go back over it again. Yeah, we gotta go back over that again, which now brings our subject out nicely. Oh yeah, yes. Detail, alright. Yeah. That's a good sign. I begin to make pleasing noises. That's a good sign. It's a good sign that I am pleased with what is going on here. Alright. Okay. Top of that lip just about disappears, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Go back some of that off there. I'll change the shape of that outer lip just a little bit. I'm going to bring this out a little bit there. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I think that'll look better. Yeah, make it a little bit fatter, see there. Okay. Alright. My tortilla out. I need my tortillon. Alright, I'm going to have to go dark here. Hey, what do you think? Huh? All right. Well, those are clearly the values. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, well that's about what we got for tonight, I think. And then I'll check it against the light of tomorrow in the daylight. Make sure we've got everything on here like we want it. Okay. That should be it for now. With the main bulk of the hair, use a B for that. HB. Yeah, so you see, now we're beginning to outline, and now this hair here comes up and down. This is wild how this works. It comes all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and draw it like that for the moment, and it is blonde. That's how we can see the dichotomous difference. Maybe not quite that close. So we've got to streak that out. Kind of hide what we got rid of that outline, that grid line there. Little known secret of hair is that hair will forgive roughness in skin texture. It'll forgive darknesses that don't quite match. It'll do a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and, what I'm looking to do now is find, I want to erase out some blonde. But I can't erase out on white paper. That ain't going to work. See? There's a hair here. It comes off. Yeah, I got that. There's a darkness. Comes out of this black patch right here. And this is all just pretty much just hair. And this is all hair. This is back over here in the dark area. This is a dark ridge here. Here. Comes down. Here like that. This doesn't happen. Then there's another dark ridge that comes up right through here. It's going to be like medievally dark across through here. Here I'm just implying the outside edge values. This chin can be darker for this reason. Work just fine. I can give the chin that kind of a value because of what's about to happen beneath it here. Pouring out of this area here is a shadow. Pretty substantial one, but it only goes to about right here. Right. Exactly. If I impress it like this when I go to rub it, it won't all disappear. Probably doesn't need to be quite that dark, but oh well. Well. Yeah. Mingle that in there. Yeah. Alright, all through here is going to be shaded. Because that's where the top of her head comes in. I'm going to leave a little reflected light line up next to the chin anyway. I don't see one here much, but I do want to put one in there. If for no other reason than the chin is supposed to actually show up there. I know this line right here is a vicious shirt line. Because I can see it. So I've been looking for contrast forever. I'm going to 6 it. Hair comes right down and interrupts it. On either side. In fact, the hair that comes in is actually straight. Again, there is a shadow that I'm going to go over once more. The shadow comes all the way down to here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it in again. And this actually comes in close like this. Rub this around here like that. We'll combine that into a similar shape. And then I'm going to clean it out in the side and center. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and take this area of soil here, this shadowed area. I'm going to pull out this hair. Now that'll mark the area. It may not be exactly the right deal yet, but it's going to mark the area for me. Take a 3B, and press this darkness through here again. Oh yeah. Just for right now, I'm just going to impress it. But that's about how dark it actually is. You know, when we're looking at it, that's about it there. Alright. It's kind of that way over here too. That's a 6. I don't quite need the 6. Let me have a, keep cutting my light off. Let me have a 3 B here. In fact, all this area over here is dark. I can actually go ahead and apply most of this just like this. I know it's going to be that dark in this area. Be a white band of shine here, and that hair will end before it gets down that far. So I can go ahead and just do this. And then this area here is actually going to be skin reflected under here, so I don't really want to go too dark with that there. Yeah, didn't come out very pretty, but alright, that's beginning at it now. Another application of darkness through here up to about right here. All this is actually be kind of dark there as well. Oh yeah, I think so. According to our I'm going to go ahead and just mimic the darknesses that I see upside down here with an H pencil. It's going to be kind of light. And this shadow here apparently comes right over on top of that, doesn't it? Alright. Pull it around to a nice white area and do that. Pull this here, here. And that'll go ahead and just impress all that in, because these are basically the values that we're going to be digging back through, pulling out the shapes of things. There we go. We're going to try to finish up the hair. And over here we see a hair streak coming off of here and around up into here. And this is dark. And this hair comes over top of that, doesn't it? This is going to be dark. It comes off of here like that. Circles in up here about the top of the head. Very good. Okay. And then this is going to be really dark in here. Let's see. Let's back that off again so we can see it. This is going to be dark up in here. Dark down here. Dark in this little thing here. And then there's a hair that's sort of, not sure what's happening there. And there's a hair. The way it's doing, we're going to have to make it dark. Not sure what else to do there. Okay. Really dark through here. And this is really thin, actually. A little bit of white right here, and it breaks off in the middle there. This is going to break off right there. Piece in there. I just see this design here coming out, and I see this darkness impressing right on the side there as well. I don't know what it means or why. It doesn't go very far. And then this darkness up here. So we'll get up that in a second. Let's go down here. There's darkness up here at the very top. But this is all this darkness up here at the very, very top. We're doing this. So, and notice that as I smear, I also lose value. I got some junk under here. I got to keep it clean under there. I will indent my paper if I don't. So, under here like this and down, because it's got to be different from the outside there, see? So right away we know that. Right away we know that the hair is going to be darker than the outside. So I'll go ahead and start impressing this value that I've got here. Then when I go back and start cleaning up the outside there a little bit, oh okay, that looks like that. Yeah, alright. But the payoff is really going to be nice. I know it is. I've done it enough to know it. I know that the payoff is good. From time to time you'll hear me talk about cutters. These are cutters. I use these to dig out values. It's just a white eraser that I've taken a knife and slashed it into corners. Usually get about 3 good corners out of one, or 6 I guess. And you dig on it. And over here you can take the cutter here like I said, just dig right in and pull out some values that will help you in your work. And here I can dig out a few small values through here with a couple of these tiny little edges, and that'll just mix things up a little bit, you know. And they'll stay. They'll pass a couple of rubbings really. The kid's got some kind of a strap on. It's a, I don't know if it's a suspender thing. It's some sort of a 80s looking, retro 80s, what people used to wear to clubs. I used to wear that kind of stuff. It had zippers and stuff all over it. Kind of strange looking, almost space looking clothing. And that was the kind of stuff we used to wear out to clubs when we would go clubbing. And she's dressed either European or retro 80s. I'm going to use a cutter and cut right down the strap edge there. Yeah, like that. That's what I'm going to do. Is right down the strap edge there, and then cut right across the top here as well. And then I can take my tortilla and smooth it in right up next to there. There you go. Alright. I know it's dark on the very inside of that. It's dark on the very inside of that one. I may try to shore them up a little bit later, get them rounder. For right now I'm just trying to get a look. There'll be 2 big shine values off of it too. Oh yeah, we don't want to forget that. And then for right now I'm just going to come through here and impress the area of this strap with some dark. I don't know how much, but some. Some's better than the white background of above it there. And again, we've got stuff under there we want to get out. Okay, like I said, it's just to impress values. And that will make the rest of her make sense somehow. I don't know how. It's kind of a magic thing. But I know that it does, and I know that it works, okay? So we'll just go with that. Same thing all across the area here where this hair is pretty much going to be stringing down. I got a piece right over that I got to draw around it. I don't want to get in there too much. But all of this is the same basic darkness to get around that strand of hair there. Now, I've connected the body to the thing, and I've noticed some of the shirt is coming through here, perhaps. So, I guess a strand or 2 here would come up, and the shirt's going to come on up high there. So as the hair is coming down and stranding, of course the shirt would come on up here, wouldn't it? Yeah, this is going to be that kind of dark, so it won't be shirt per se. Part of it will be. But I've just got to do something like that for now. I'll figure it all out later. But this is kind of the boring part of the job here, is figuring out what goes where. As Bob Seger said, what to leave in, what to leave out. Like I said before, I was drawing this right here. It's a little stitch right there that comes down. And I'm not sure if the shirt's darker than the strap or they're the same darkness or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and do that for now. Now then, there's this hair terminates about right in there somewhere, so I'm going to erase all that out eventually. And there's a shading on the strap. You can get a lot of mileage of realism out of that once I smear it in. And this is such a deep crevice there along that strap that it's going to pick up shadowing on either side, which is really good for what I need. Yeah. So I'll just apply everything and leave it. I guess I'm going to put it all in and then figure out what to do with it later. Okay. That's a design of shadow in the center of this piece of leather here. Not sure if it's leather or cloth with a grommet of some kind. A couple of grommets we got there. Now watch this. Take a couple of these new cutters, or one of them at a time. And I can pull out that blonde thing. All the way down like that. It's getting us closer to visualizing basically what the heck is going on over here. It's up to you to do it. This is a completed portrait to the standards of extreme realism. If you could draw this in my class, you could be an instructor. I would hire you as an instructor in my class if you were this good.